Ladies and gentlemen, as the years pass, life teaches you lessons that no book, no teacher, no mentor can ever fully articulate. And one of the most powerful strategies you can develop in old age is knowing when to pretend to be stupid. Not because you are, but because sometimes wisdom demands silence, patience, and the ability to let others believe what they want, while you quietly hold the upper hand. There are moments in life where fighting, correcting, proving, or engaging is simply not worth the energy it drains from you. As you age, your priority should be peace, not unnecessary conflict. So let's talk about the 7 situations where playing the fool is actually the smartest move you can make. Family, the people who are supposed to love you unconditionally, can sometimes be the very ones who attempt to control and manipulate you. It is a difficult truth to accept, but it is one that becomes clearer with age. As you grow older, you may notice subtle shifts in the way family members treat you, in the way they speak to you, in the expectations they place upon you. Some of them may not even realize they are doing it, while others are fully aware of their tactics and use them to their advantage. Recognizing manipulation is the first step in protecting yourself from it. And often, the best way to deal with it is not confrontation, but wisdom and silence. The manipulation can come in many forms, from emotional blackmail to financial pressure. It often begins subtly with small requests or seemingly innocent comments, but over time, it can escalate into something much more controlling. It may start with a guilt trip, statements like, "After all I've done for you," or "You owe us that much." These phrases are carefully crafted to make you feel responsible for someone else's happiness or well-being, even at the cost of your own. The moment you recognize that someone is making you feel guilty in order to get what they want, you must understand that it is not love, but manipulation. Some family members may attempt to control your decisions, especially when it comes to money, property, or inheritance. They might tell you that you are not capable of managing your own finances, that you need their help, that you should trust them with your resources. They might pressure you into giving them money, investing in their ideas, or changing your will in their favor. These manipulations often come wrapped in the language of concern, but deep down they are motivated by self-interest. If you find yourself being pressured in this way, step back, observe, and remember that your financial independence is yours to protect. Guilt is one of the most powerful tools of manipulation. A family member may remind you of past favors, of sacrifices they claim to have made for you, and use that as leverage to demand something in return. They may bring up memories from childhood, telling you that they have always been there for you, so now you must be there for them, on their terms, not yours. They may insist that it is your duty to comply, that families should always stick together, even when their requests are unreasonable. Understanding this tactic allows you to separate genuine love from manipulation. Another common form of manipulation is playing the victim. A family member may exaggerate their struggles, make you feel as if you are the only one who can help them, and create a sense of obligation that is difficult to refuse. They may say things like, "I have no one else," or "If you don't do this, I don't know what I'll do." They want you to feel responsible for their happiness, their well-being, their survival. But the truth is, every adult is responsible for their own life, and you are not obligated to sacrifice yourself to fix someone else's problems. Some family members manipulate by creating division. They turn people against each other, spreading rumors, twisting words, and making sure that you never feel completely secure in your relationships. They might say, "I heard what she said about you," or "He's always been jealous of you." They thrive on tension, on creating rifts that make them feel powerful and in control. If you notice this kind of manipulation, step away from the drama, refuse to participate, and protect your own peace. Another dangerous tactic is the use of conditional love. A manipulative family member may only treat you well when you are doing what they want. The moment you say no, the affection disappears, replaced by coldness or even hostility. They may stop calling, ignore your presence, or act as if you have betrayed them. This is not love. Real love does not disappear the moment you assert your own needs or boundaries. Recognizing this is crucial to maintaining your emotional independence. Sometimes manipulation is disguised as concern. A family member may tell you they are only trying to protect you, that they are looking out for your best interests, that you need them to make decisions for you because they know better. They may discourage you from doing things you enjoy, from making changes in your life, from being independent. They may say, "I just don't want you to get hurt," or "Are you sure you can handle that?" This type of manipulation can be difficult to recognize because it feels like care, but true care empowers you, not limits you. Fear is another powerful tool of manipulation. A family member may warn you of terrible consequences if you don't do as they say. They might predict disaster, telling you that you will regret your choices, that something bad will happen if you don't listen to them. They want to keep you in a state of doubt, uncertainty, and dependence. But fear-based control is not love. It is control, pure and simple. Manipulative family members often have an inability to respect boundaries. They may show up unannounced, demand your time and attention whenever they want it, and act offended when you try to set limits. If you say, "I need some space," they take it as rejection. If you say, "I can't help with that," they act as if you don't care. But boundaries are not selfish, they are necessary for your well-being. The more someone pushes against your limits, the more important it is to hold them firmly. Another form of manipulation is rewriting history. A family member may distort past events to make themselves look like the victim and you the villain. They may insist that things happen differently than you remember, that you are being ungrateful, that you owe them for things they never actually did for you. This tactic, known as gaslighting, is designed to make you question your own memory, to put you in a position where you no longer trust yourself. The only defense is to trust your own perception, to hold on to what you know to be true. One of the most harmful effects of family manipulation is the erosion of your self-worth. Over time, constant guilt-tripping, emotional blackmail, and pressure can make you feel as if you are selfish, ungrateful, or not good enough. It can make you question your right to live your own life on your terms. But the truth is, no one, no matter how close, has the right to dictate how you should live. You do not exist to serve the expectations of others. You have the right to protect your peace, your energy, and your independence. In the end, the best response to manipulation is not anger, not argument, not trying to change people who refuse to change. It is quiet strength. It is the ability to see manipulation for what it is and choose not to engage. It is knowing when to walk away, when to set limits, when to protect your own happiness from those who seek to control it. Some battles are won not by fighting, but by refusing to play the game at all. Being underestimated is one of the greatest advantages a person can have, though it rarely feels that way in the moment. When others assume you are incapable, when they dismiss your potential, when they overlook your intelligence or strength, they are giving you something invaluable: freedom from expectation. You are not bound by their assumptions. You are not limited by their perspective. Their misjudgment creates an open space where you can quietly build, improve, and eventually surpass them in ways they never anticipated. Underestimation often stems from ignorance rather than insight. People assume they know you based on superficial observations, brief interactions, or outdated perceptions. They judge based on appearances, on status, on conventional markers of success. They fail to consider what lies beneath the surface, what experiences have shaped you, what unseen work you have put in. They assume that what they see is all there is, and in doing so, they reveal the limitations of their own thinking, not yours. Many people underestimate others because they need to feel superior. They diminish those around them to maintain their own sense of importance. When someone belittles your abilities, when they mock your ambitions, when they suggest you are not capable of achieving something significant, they are not offering wisdom. They are revealing their own insecurity. The strongest people do not need to tear others down. They recognize potential in others because they are secure in themselves. Those who underestimate you do so because they are afraid to acknowledge the possibility that you might be greater than they assumed. One of the worst things you can do when underestimated is to try to argue against it. Trying to convince someone of your worth, pleading for recognition, demanding acknowledgement, these actions only place power in their hands. You do not need to explain yourself to people who refuse to see your value. You do not need their approval. You do not need validation from those who are unwilling to see beyond their own biases. Let them doubt you. Let them assume you are weak, unprepared, incapable. Their underestimation is their mistake, not your burden. People often underestimate those who are quiet, who do not boast about their achievements, who move through the world without seeking constant attention. There is a reason why the most dangerous opponents are the ones you never see coming. Loud arrogance is obvious and predictable, but quiet competence is lethal. When you are underestimated, you gain the element of surprise. You can prepare without interference. You can work without distraction. You can strike when no one expects it. Underestimation can become a source of motivation, but only if you use it wisely. Some let it break them, allow it to seep into their self-perception, to convince them that they are truly incapable, but others use it as fuel. They channel their frustration into effort, their anger into discipline, their doubt into relentless self-improvement. They take every dismissive comment, every doubting glance, every condescending remark, and turn it into a reason to push further. They do not need to prove their worth to others, they prove it to themselves through action. Those who underestimate you are not paying attention to your potential. They see only your past, not the work you are doing in the present, not the person you are becoming. They believe they already understand you, but their understanding is shallow. What they fail to realize is that growth is not always visible. Strength is often built in solitude. Progress happens in silence. Just because they do not see your transformation does not mean it is not happening. The greatest changes are often internal before they manifest externally. There is a strategic advantage in letting people underestimate you. If they do not see you as a threat, they do not prepare for you. If they assume you are incapable, they do not guard against your success. If they dismiss your efforts, they do not interfere. This allows you to move freely, to build without resistance, to refine your skills in peace. You do not need to correct their misperceptions. You do not need to fight for their recognition. You only need to keep working, keep improving, and let time reveal what they failed to see. The strongest response to being underestimated is quiet mastery. No argument, no defensive explanations, no desperate attempts at proving yourself. Only results. There is no greater moment than when those who doubted you are forced to reconcile their mistaken assumptions with undeniable reality. The silence that follows their realization is worth more than any forced recognition. By the time they see what you have become, it is too late for them to stop it.